We all know now he was a swimmer and was probably going to be an Olympian, and things changed as the weather changed. But my time with him begins after Coach had him, and we all need to thank Coach for delivering a product to San Antonio that was already baked in the oven. We didn't have to do much because of what Coach Odom did at Wake Forest, and that's not an exaggeration, that's the truth. Timmy was very, very ready to go when he got here. When I first met him, well, after we drafted him, which was really a tough decision. Your cat or your dog at your house could have made that decision. I mean, you don't have to be very smart. But I decided to go down to the island and see who this guy was and to see if we were going to click and just how things would go. And I learned very quickly who he was. He could have told me that as soon as you get there and get in your rental car, that everybody drives on the other side of the road. But he neglected to tell me that. So I almost died 2 or 3 times just getting to his house. And then we lived on the beach for a few days. And we swam. And we talked. And from that moment, I knew that he was a special individual because he basically talked about everything but basketball. And we've been the recipients of that intelligence and that outlook on life since he's walked in here. So we're very thankful. But he's also strange. I don't know how many times I've had to bring carrot cake to his room, or he would be miffed. We're in a city, and I'm in a restaurant, and they have carrot cake. And so whenever that happens, I get the carrot cake, I bring it to his room like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. He might be sleeping, so I just set it at the door. I don't know what mice or whatever else has been eating on it, but I set it by the door, I'll knock, and then I'll leave. And he got used to this, so I had to do this for 20 years. Carrot cake for 20 years. David and Bruce never bothered me that way. Sean didn't bother me that way. But, you know, Timmy's special, so he had to have carrot cake. You know. The first practices, his gym shorts are backwards. Reminds me of somebody now, wherever he might be. I don't know where the guys are. And we said, what's the deal? He goes, "This is what I do. This is how I roll." I looked at the coaches. They looked at me. RC, we talked. He said, "I don't think we care how he wears his trunks." So he did it the entire time. He's an enigma in some ways. You think that Kawhi Leonard doesn't talk much. When Timmy first got here, it was like mental telepathy. I would say something to him, and he would stare. The same stare that Tony gets on the court. And I wasn't sure if he was paying attention, but, you know, he was a great collegian and played at a great program, so I'm figuring he understands what I'm saying. And finally, I realized that he understood everything I was saying, probably agreed with about half of it, but he's so respectful that he wouldn't say anything until later. He won't do it in front of the team, and sometimes I'd be merciless. And for that, I'm really thankful because you allowed me to coach the team. If your superstar can take a little hit now and then, everybody else can shut the hell up and fall in line. And that man did that for me. He allowed me to coach. There was something I was going to say there and I forgot. Timmy, did you get my card? He had some things in here he wanted me to say. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. So now his first contract is up. Everybody remembers this, all the talk about going to Orlando. Oh, and he played it up. He played it up really well. He's, you know, the water, and it's just like St. Croix. I'm going to have a boat, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I mean, we got the San Antonio River. Come on. We got boats. We got boats. So I can remember late nights in my backyard till, 1 and 2 in the morning sometimes, sitting there talking, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with the team, Pop? And what do you, Timmy? Back and forth. So finally, he made a decision after putting me through the grinder for what seemed like an eternity. He came over one night. True story. Don't you even try to deny it. True story. He thinks it's funny. He walks in, he says, Pop, before we sit down, I got to just tell you, I'm going to go to Orlando. But he doesn't, say, just kidding. He waits like 5 or 6 seconds, and I'm stunned for a while, and then he tells me what he's going to do. I think I jumped up in his arms and hugged him or whatever I did. I don't remember. But these are the things that nobody understands how playful he is, and I'll miss that. Everybody misses that, because when you've been with somebody for 20 years, you see a lot of that. And it's what really makes him special. As everyone has said, I don't even want to talk about rebounds and points and all that sort of thing. This individual made it possible for everybody we brought in through the years to be part of this culture and be part of this program. And he's demanding. He's very demanding. I mean, I can remember when Manu Ginobili came, Timmy was not impressed. Huh? See? Timmy was, I remember this stuff, Timmy. He was, because I was saying, hey, we got a guy coming. Timmy, you're not going to believe this. The blah, blah, blah. He does this. He can do this. He's got the heart of a lion. He can blah, blah. Yeah, okay, Pop, sure. When we see it, we'll see it. So what happens? Manu comes, and the minute he gets here, he has a bad ankle. And he looks like RC and I as a player. He doesn't look that good. And Timmy just kind of looks at me like, yeah, okay, that's Ginobili. Great, Pop. So as luck would have it, we finally decided to sit Manu and wait till January, make sure he got healed. And when he came back in January, he was a monster. But Timmy's never said thank you, or I was wrong, or I don't remember anything like that. Maybe later on tonight, maybe you'll admit that. I don't know. But as everybody said, his empathy, his ability to make people welcome and lead quietly but with dignity and gravitas made him special beyond most anybody that you can imagine. And the last comment I'm going to make before, I promised I wouldn't use this tissue, so I'm not going to do it. This is the most important comment that I can make about Tim Duncan, that I can honestly say to Mr. and Mrs. Duncan, who have passed, that man right there is exactly the same person now as he was when he walked in the door.